What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 5th Up the Monitors podcast. Last month, we did something a bit different. I hosted a very fair and very balanced quiz.
Lies.
I can attest to the fair and balancedness of that quiz.
I think it was fucking hilarious. I enjoyed myself, and I'll never get over. I'll not stop hearing Connor just shouting dogs at me to try and get points. It was a lot of fun. So go watch that. Watch it, listen to it, whatever. I don't fucking care. Yeah, go check that out if you haven't seen it. Watched it, heard it. Fuck.
You can watch it, but it's just a static image for an hour and a half.
Well, it's nice though. You did a good job on the image, so you know.
I think it's an image to appreciate.
Oh, it's got a little Keijo thing in the top. I love that shit. So yeah, shouts out. Fuck, what are we doing this month? Oh yeah, a couple of people aren't here. We're missing Rich and Joe. We were gonna get Mark on. Very, very popular, very hard-working UTM contributor. Done loads of stuff for us. Yeah,
he's gonna give us some Drake news.
Yeah, he was in the Matrix with his mic. It was unintelligible. So
he's making ambient music now.
Yeah, he's gone off to do that instead of the podcast. Connor and Josh and me. That's all that you get this month, unfortunately. But I think we're good enough for you anyway. So,
well, I say we're much better than the Beatles.
Classic UTM meme. Anyway, this one's probably going to be a little bit shorter, I guess, because less people and whatnot. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Persona 5. Why do you sound like, I can't, I didn't know this one was going to happen. I'm interested for this one. Birdman hand rub.
I think it's an exciting topic for people.
If they have any interest in Persona 5. If they don't, they're fucked.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, I didn't know anything about it before, and Josh, you explained it to me, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. So maybe, same thing happens here. People hear it, and then they go, oh, that's interesting. Might check it out. But yeah, firstly, though, I want to know what we've all been up to. I know what we've all been up to. We've been playing Overwatch non-fucking stop.
Yes.
And I think we're doing okay. I feel we've got our mains and we know how to play them.
Yes,
I think we did really good the other night.
Sessions, so not sure how we're doing right now, but
I think we did really good that one night that Connor was not there.
Oh shit! Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, I can't believe Event Sebastian isn't essential to your team.
To be fair, I think Mark picked him up a little bit and did pretty well with him, so got a contender there. Well, honestly, though, I'm getting fucking sick to the back of teeth of seeing Genji and Hanzo on every fucking team. Like I want to be that guy that gets on TeamSpeak and it's like, just fucking choose a different character, you prick. Get off it.
And whenever we have like a stranger on our team, it's always Genji and Hanzo.
It is, yeah, always.
Check Hanzo mains 2K17.
Fucking ruins the game for me. But I've been playing May as well. That's a lot of fun,
Yeah, I had a real good time with May the other night. That sounds really weird out of context.
I think May's a hard character to get right with the gameplay style.
If you're sick like me, mate.
The thing is, I thought it was going to be really difficult to, have all of the things at once, like the spray and then the icicle, proper snipe thing, and obviously the walls as well. But it didn't take long for me to get into. I think it's one of them easy to learn, hard to master kind of things, like with the wall placement.
Yeah, she's got a lot of options.
I've blocked so many teammates off from heals, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
I just remember when I played May once, I kept throwing Mark into the air without him wanting to. ruining his target practice and stuff. That
Yeah.
was good fun.
Yeah, I'm glad we found Overwatch because it's a good team spirit game, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're only like 6 months late or whatever it was.
It's a year, like, isn't it?
Yeah, anniversary now,
Yeah,
but when we
anniversary's
got it.
happening around now. Yeah, did I 6 months ago? I don't know. Yeah, really in the future, I'm hoping to do some videos for that. Like, once I move into the new place in Southampton, I'll set up my stuff, and I'll have a desk and everything ready, and maybe start doing some
Ooh,
stuff in the future.
Dreaming,
Yeah,
mate. Gonna be Twitch
yeah.
idols.
UTM plays Overwatch.
on a
And
desk.
I'm not going to put badly at the end. I feel that's cliche and we're sick as well. So
Yeah.
no, thank you for that title.
The internet will tell us that anyway, so
UTM
yeah.
play Overwatch sickly?
that
Sickly.
just sounds like we're ill.
Yeah,
We are.
we are pretty much all ill. Ill as fuck. Right. Let's get on to Persona then. So the first thing I wanted to ask everyone, how much did you know, or how much did you play of Persona? Like, because it's a series, Persona 5. Obviously, there's 4 other ones. I mean, but I this was my first Persona game. I don't know about you, Connor. I think it was your first as well.
It was also my first. Like you said earlier, you heard Josh talk about it. Thought it sounded cool. I'm on the same boat. Like, I checked out videos of it afterwards. Like, man, this looks sick. The turn-based thing is so quick and slick. And I was like, damn, I need to get this. But yeah, I don't know anything from Persona 1 to 4 or the Rhythm games, apart from there being Miku in one. Shout out.
There's only
Miku.
one rhythm game, so
Is it Dancing All Night?
yeah, Persona 4
Yeah.
Dancing all Night.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Josh? I think you knew about it before.
Yeah, I knew it. Well, I haven't played any of the past Persona games, but I've played Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which is also by Atlas, and it's kind of like a simplified version of what Persona and Shin Megami Tensei offers, because Persona is technically Shin Megami Tensei, but it became its own kind of thing. Separate of it. So a lot of the recurring enemies from Shin Megami Tensei are in Persona, and the spell system and stuff like that all carries over. So yeah, that was pretty much my knowledge of the game. Also, I knew the rhythm game as well for some reason. I don't know why I checked that before I checked out Persona 4, but I just found it intriguing, I guess. But yeah,
yeah, carry on.
Yeah, no, but I think it was E3 last year or the year before, where they debuted the mass the main trailer for it, and I saw that and I was like, oh, this game looks sick. So, yeah.
I mean, so it's all our first Persona game.
Got a great couple of Persona experts here right now.
That's just. I feel like that is just a testament to the game, though. Like it's all our first Persona game, and we're doing a whole fucking podcast on it.
It's sold so well. There must be loads of people in the same situation.
Yeah,
as us.
there's a lot of people that this is. I mean, because they were all. I think Persona 4 came out on the PS2, so there's almost 2 entire generations of games consoles have gone since then.
It's out on the Vita, but
Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
It came out on the Vita, yeah.
I would be tempted to try out Persona 4 or 3 or 2.
Yeah, I felt that way after starting this. Obviously, I haven't finished it yet, but I'm like, oh damn, this is the 5th one. I've been missing out. If it's like this,
I'd like to, but I think there'd be inferior experiences after Persona 5, just because that game does a lot more than all those games ever did.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of worried about, going back and picking it up.
That's kind of how I feel about if I was to go back to Nier after playing Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think similar thing. Maybe also Yakuza, but Yakuza has the benefit of having a remake of the first one, isn't it? The Kiwami or the prequel or whatever. So,
well, the prequel is Yakuza 0, and then Kiwami is the first coming out. So.
Yeah. So that's a great point to start that. So, but with Persona going
just keep remaking them, and
that's what the games market is right now, isn't it? Anyway, fucking remake after remake.
Yeah, so Atlas did a massive survey recently, and HD remakes of the first couple of Persona games was on that survey. There's potential things for them to do next. So
was another thing on the survey, let me record the fucking gameplay. Because that was a big
yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people had kind of gripes with that, especially because just today in society and stuff, like recording gaming and gameplay is just like a given, really. And also, apparently, Persona 4 found like a massive kind of following from that kind of streaming market. Like a lot of people picked up the game from
really
people's from like.
So I can imagine they were pissed off.
Yeah, because they felt like they'd just been, but like it was like Atlas Japan's decision, so like Atlas America kind of just had to deal with the brunt of it and be like, "I'm sorry, guys, we can't do much."
I heard about that.
Yeah.
It was like everyone was tweeting at Atlas America, and they were like, "This is coming from the Japan headquarters. We can't really do anything. Please don't hate us."
At the same time, it's kind of nice that it's easier to avoid spoilers online with that.
That's true.
Like, yeah. In a way, I appreciate it. Yeah. But it's fair play if you don't want people to get spoiled. It's come from a good place, I think. I just don't think it was executed right.
I think the wording in the initial statement was bad, which pissed a lot of people off.
Probably lost a lot in translation as well, to be fair.
Maybe, yeah.
So picking up the game obviously for the first time, what was everyone's like first impression? I remember like Josh, you showed me a screenshot and there was I think it was the Berith persona. It's like the horseman and it was in a mansion. And I was like, "There's a horse in a mansion. There's a man on a horse in a mansion. How did he get there?" And now I look back, I'm so disconnected from that because I was like, that isn't the half of the weirdness. Do you know what I mean? Like I just had no idea.
I always feel like that in games. Like when you initially start playing it, and you're like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" Like I'm so excited to play this. Like 30 hours down the line, you're so used to it. It's like, how did I ever feel that way?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Persona. I guess there were parts that were still like crazy, even like 80, 90 hours in, but for the most part, you did get used to it after probably the first few palaces.
But what were your like first impressions of it? Like when you first started
playing? This is sick. That's just what I was thinking for the whole like. No, I was thinking this is long for the first like
5 hours in. When do I get to play the game?
Like I was itching so much to actually do some gameplay. Like I was so relieved when I actually got into the first palace properly, but it was great. Like it was so fast, so slick. Like it was just a lot of fun. Like I don't know, the game's just relentlessly fun.
Yeah, I legit kept saying this is sick out loud. Like no one was in the room with me, and I was just grinning to myself like this is sick.
Yeah,
I literally couldn't stop. It was so much fun, and I liked the whole. I didn't really have to get into the gameplay straight away. I liked everything about it.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh? What was your
well, I think visually is probably like the first kind of major impact it had on me. Like in terms of RPGs, I think this raises the bar quite dramatically in what you can do kind of like stylistically and stuff like that. Because
definitely, yeah.
I mean, being set in like just like modern day, like today's Japan, rather than the typical kind of RPG thing, which is like either some fantastical world that has no relation to the real world, or like a world that's set like 5 million years in the future or something. That seems to be the kind of two extremes. Like not many RPGs just like straight in like real life and stuff like that. So that's already like kind of like an interesting dynamic of it. But like, just visually, like the style stuff is amazing, and like the fact that this is just technically just a PS3 game because it was developed for PS3 and then they upped the specs of it for PS4 basically, but it was developed for PS3. Like, just kind of goes to show you like how you don't need like super powerful tech or whatever to make a game that looks like stylistically just incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it still got released on the PS3 as well, didn't it?
Yeah. The cross release.
I like to say I really appreciate like how much color it kind of has.
Yeah,
it's like
very like pop art visuals.
Yeah, loads of games now are very like black or muted and grey. Like, there's kind of like I don't want to say Dark Souls because I might be wrong, but like Bloodborne and stuff. Just
the classic Dark Souls reference. Good journalism, Connor.
Nah, it's games like that. Just very dark and drab. But it's so fun to play a game that's just
Colourful
so colorful. Like even when you're like running around and there's just like purple and pink flying around you.
Yeah, on the floor. Like it's so cool. When like initially I was like, I think some people were saying it's a Japanese high school thing. Like, I know that's supposed to be kind of lame, but like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I love that shit.
It's really not.
I loved being in my own like personal slice of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting
It's
to
like
live
I
in
was
a
watching a fucking
cafe.
show, yeah. And it was just
Ah,
like, I was just happy to be part of the humdrum
mm.
life of a high school, and then for something like real dramatic to happen.
Yeah.
Like it was like it kind of felt a bit like Twin Peaks to me. Like it had that kind of kitschy almost feel to it, but there was some serious shit as well. You know what I mean? Like it had that contrast that was pretty good.
Yeah, the
Like
juxtaposition's great.
initially. So yeah, first impression. That's why I kept saying this is sick, like just over and over again. Yeah, like I think people, if they're like, oh, it's Japanese high school, it's gonna be lame. Like I think they'd be very fucking surprised at how good the game is and how it grabs you initially.
Yeah, even if you like are not into that stuff, it's just so much fun. I think you can definitely get past it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like games that I've played that I've had to get past stuff, and I was glad that I did. But I've heard like reviewers and other people like YouTubers that play a game for a little bit and they're like, no, fuck it, this isn't my game. It's like, well, you could have given it a bit more of a chance.
I mean, it must be a nightmare of a game to review for reviewers because like you have like so many games to review. I imagine if you're like a games journalist, and like this requires such a massive dedication of time that I can see why people might just like get to their kind of standard however many hours they usually play a game and be like, not really going anywhere. I'm done.
But if any of them are worth it, it's this one.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think you need to put a decent amount of hours into this before you can even properly review it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about the story and the plot? Like, obviously, try and keep it spoiler free.
Yeah.
But like, what does everyone think about like the way it's told and what kind of story it is?
I think the general narrative themes of it are very good, and although I know the director, when he was kind of talking about its popularity in the West, he said like he found it kind of surprising because it's like a very Japanese story and it's set with very like it's set in like real Japanese setting IRL, and it's got like a very heavy like Japanese political kind of system. But like a lot of times throughout that game I was like, this is very similar to current political events in this country, and kind of like
I felt that too.
How about the whole kind of crux of the game is like adults dictating the lives of young people and telling them what they have to do and how they have to live and stuff like that.
Goddamn Tories, isn't it? Literally, like it was like these young people are getting fucked over by these people. Yeah, it was. So I mean, I think for him to say that, like maybe he didn't know enough about West. How the West is working right now.
Yeah,
it's more applicable than he thinks it is. I think.
Does this mean we have to go change Theresa May's heart?
Absolutely. Let's all go now.
Fucking hell! What would her palace be though?
The palace.
A Victorian poorhouse with kids that don't have
abandoned hospital, mate, is what it'll be.
This is turned dark. Let's switch the lanes onto Persona again. But taking from what Josh said, the like narrative themes are really good. I also like the whole like that you spend a lot of it just like bonding with characters and getting to know them.
I love that part of it. That's so important to me.
Like I said before, like how side quests a lot of the time, getting to know, like talking to side characters a lot of time, it's just kind of bland and forgettable. This is, I know they're not really side quests, but they're like side parts to the games, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's like it gets really deep into the side characters. So
I mean,
I appreciate that.
Every time since Final Fantasy 15, every time people talk about side quests, I get so pissed off. Purely because of fucking Mark, like, didn't complete the game for so long. He was like, yeah, I'm doing all the side quests first. I'm like, it's your first playthrough.
Yeah.
How are you not, like, trying to enjoy the story all the way through, Because with Final Fantasy 15, like, the side quests weren't really, like, story-driven at all. It was literally just other things to do. Whereas in Persona, all of the side stuff is still absolutely part of the whole, like, universe. And
absolutely.
You're kind of forced to do it, aren't you, in a way?
Yeah.
It streamlines into like the main
game as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's so good, and I that's another part that I really really appreciate. Um, but the pacing at the start kind of got on my nerves
Yeah,
because
I
I
can
wanted to
understand.
get further, but also at the same time, I was happy that it was building and building because I don't think enough games do enough to build a story and a world, and
Mm.
But
You have some real like character motive by the time you reach the end of the first palace, which I think I finished the first palace about 13 hours into the game, something around that time.
yeah.
And by then you've already had like a lot of character development, and there's a lot of reason and motive for why these characters are doing the things they're doing. Like,
yeah, I'd say like in terms of story, it's the characters that are absolutely like the central part of it. Like the character development and stuff. Because I'm try and like not. I'm not going near spoilers, but
no,
like
I know what
the
you're gonna say.
actual
It's fine.
the actual story narrative, like for the last kind of section of the game, is not. It's not the greatest. It's not bad. It's just a bit.
Is it fair to say it tails off a little bit?
I think the narrative can be pretty heavy-handed at times, but like you're saying, it's the memories and the experiences with your friends along the way that make the story, not the actual kind of conclusion of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like obvious plot twist is the problem for me.
You know what? I think when it comes to plot twists, I'm a fucking idiot. I never see them coming. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I saw that coming." I'm like, "Oh my god, come in!"
What just happened then?
That's one of
You
the
did a
songs
Persona
on
5,
Persona,
mate.
isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
What do you mean? Is it? You've heard it about 500,000 times.
Oh my god.
Your interpretation wasn't very good. Not like Josh's coming out with my family, staying
coming out with my family.
Coming out.
Hanging out.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, but yeah, like with the whole thing of like, you know, dark desires and a different reality for those things. Like I feel like it's something I've probably daydreamed about once. Like
absolutely, yeah.
And it's like kind of, do you know what I mean? It's like it feels really familiar. Like
I mean, isn't just like straight up a magical girl trope, the whole different dimension dark desires thing?
But I haven't watched a million magical girl animes. Like
Essentially,
so...
if you just watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from the 3rd season, that's Persona for you.
Is it literally?
There you
go. Oh,
exactly the same.
Damn. Never watched that.
I mean, what we get from that is just very anime influenced.
Yeah.
No, but I really like that. I mean, maybe not to everyone else, but to me, it's a novel idea, and you know, something I've thought about before. Like I'm always thinking about people's motives and shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
Very cynical. So for a game like this, it's kind of like I'm going through my teenage phase where my new favorite band understands me and no one else does. Persona
Adults
understands me, kind of thing.
stupid.
Yeah, adults suck. That's the whole like point of the game is. And that's something that resonates with me very, very much. But yeah, that's cool. But as you were saying before, Connor, the characters are like probably the most important part of it, and that's what we're going on to next. So, who is best girl?
That was. I mean, there is literally only one answer for this question. So.
Yeah, what's the answer?
It begins with an M.
Yeah.
Me.
Josh's best girl.
It's Morgana.
Damn.
Wait, I keep saying she for Morgana. I don't know why.
Bad
Gender is actually bust, but
yeah. Oh no, that's another thing as well. I keep forgetting. Like I'm like, is it a cat? Is it a different? Oh no, but don't spoil that for me. But yeah, nah, Makoto's not best girl. So Oya's best girl because she.
I can't
drunk
believe
as
I've
fuck.
got so many people with wrong decisions.
I'd say Anna's best girl because she's first girl.
Is that why you like her? She was the first one there.
Nah, she is. I find her just really funny. Like, and she's kind of dumb, but you know, like all her acting acting and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
and like
really
at one
enjoyed that
point,
part.
like I couldn't stop laughing at like you're not at this part yet, but it's not really a spoiler. She just keeps putting on like this really fake English accent. It's really really funny.
It's
I don't
Especially
think I
in,
got to that bit.
I know, no, it's like
It's
on
later now, yeah.
Oh, is it later? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but it might just be the Japanese version that it comes up in.
No, it's funny.
does
Like
she-
it mentioned it in the English one as well.
Yeah. They I know they mentioned it. Like Yusuke mentioned it. I think. Yeah, Anne's funny in that kind of like dumb way, but yeah, but there are like characters that you just proper relate to, and even if you don't relate to them, like you can tell that like they're just a strong character. Like their motives come through, and you know.
That's a lot of the reason why I like Makoto so much. I can relate to some of her inner demons.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the same with me and Oya. Like she's just a
Oya's
just a drunkard.
I mean, Oya's a drunken journalist, which like with our backgrounds, that's pretty relatable, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe this podcast has to turn into intervention for Nathan.
Yeah.
But no, there's so many good like really likable and fun characters in this.
Yeah,
and there is a lot as well, isn't there? Like compared to like how many characters you usually get and how invested you get in some of them. Like this is all the characters, and you're invested in probably all of them.
Absolutely,
it's a really big team. Like you don't get big teams like that in games usually. Like it's max of 4.
I'd say in RPGs it can get to about 8 like that, like party members. But like, a lot of the party members you get later or something you just don't care about. Like
yeah,
they don't do as good a job as Persona does in making you care about them.
Like I remember in Final Fantasy VI, there's quite a few optional characters.
Yeah, same with 7, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. Like Vincent or whoever it is.
And Yuffie.
Like in 6, you can literally miss the character and not get them at all. And also with some of the characters, you can miss some backstory that's like, it's like if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't get it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad because I like to get invested in the characters. Whereas
Absolutely.
Persona gives it to you like all the characters up in your face. You know everything about them, and that's a really welcoming thing in an RPG for me because I've missed so many things before.
That's how like the day system I think really works in this game's favor, because like a lot of the time an idea of like having like a time limit on RPG in which you can do things is kind of intimidating. I'd say a lot of RPG players would not like that, because like the whole point of an RPG is you get thrown into this world, you're this character, you've got the time to explore, meet all the NPCs, like do as much grinding as you want, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Whereas this year obviously you have a finite amount of days to do things, but the way it kind of streamlines it and like sets it so you can build the character how you want to be, you can like pursue the relationships you want to pursue and stuff like that, I think it's a really cool way of doing it.
Yeah.
I kind of like how the day system does kind of move on. It kind of keeps the game like moving all the time as well.
Yeah.
Like you can't just get lost in side quests for ages and just be like, I've forgotten about the story now, or it'll just like leave that by the wayside. It kind of nicely balances both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm not about though?
What's that?
What?
Let's not do that today. How about suck your mum, Morgana? You fucking prick. It's so annoying. I'm like, there's time to do something at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I could easily do it. I've not been at the palace. I'm not exhausted like you said I had before. I accept that. But when I get back from just a little bit of story, it's like, yeah, let's not do that today. I'm like, why? Why the fuck not? Give me a good reason.
Dumbass cat.
What about like test days? Like, aren't you after school? Aren't you doing stuff?
Studying, mate, and getting your sleep like you do with all test exams.
Well, if I'm studying, give me some knowledge, mate.
No, because this is obligatory studying.
Yeah, but like that did kind of frustrate me a couple of times. But I think on the whole, like even with that, I think that system is brilliant.
Yeah,
and
I think that's a pretty general criticism.
To play with.
I wish afterwards they would let you carry on doing that.
What, infinitely? Just hang out with your mates?
Yeah, like, no.
Well, you've got to wait for Persona 5, whatever affix they add on to the end of it. Like, I mean...
Yeah, but with the time thing, like I feel like that gives you like a real sense of like do you know what I mean? Like when you're in real life, you're like, oh shit, I've got quite a lot to do today. Like I should prioritize this. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Mark, I can't play Overwatch with you later. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you're fucking there. Like, oh shit, I can't see Anne today. Oh, I said I'd see Yusuke, but I need to get my thing up with Kawakami. You know what I mean? Like you get proper invested in.
There's weight to your decisions.
Yeah.
I just like to say, I'm never going to see Yusuke. Fuck that guy.
See, you know what?
Yusuke is
The
an
game
asshole.
genuinely got me. It genuinely got me because I was gonna study, and I was like, and then Yusuke texted me, and I was like, oh man, like I never hang out with this guy. I feel bad. I should go see him, and I did. And it was like, I don't owe this pixel man character anything, but yet I feel like I've got to go see him because he'll be upset if I don't.
Does anyone get like really stressed when like 3 people text you like, oh yeah, let's hang out?
Oh god, yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't want to let down all of you guys. So I've only got like so much time in a day.
Put your ranking system and stick to it, then what's the issue?
Got too many friends, mate.
Now that is something I can't relate to, so
yeah, I wish I had more IRL confidence.
Just boost it, mate. Just read some books. Go see a movie. The Dark Cake Rises.
The Cake Night Rises.
I'm gonna say the movie titles are really bad, like parodies.
Oh my god, though, one of the DVDs you can rent is an X-Files DVD, but it's called like the X Folders.
Yeah.
It was so funny. They called
what was Scully called in that? Something like
Sculty. Yeah. Which was just blatant and shit, but that's why I loved it.
Can I say, like going back to like the time thing, those DVDs are a false source of anxiety all the time. Because I remember I rented my first DVD and I was like watching it, and then I got into a story sequence where it cuts off all those days and you just have to do that. Let's not do that today and go to sleep. Like, and I was late with my DVD. I was like, oh crap, I'm late with my DVD. I'm gonna have to pay money for it. You go back to them, they're like, oh, it's okay, it's first time, we'll let you off, it's fine.
Yeah.
Did it again, and it's exactly the same. It still doesn't make you pay. It's like, what am I worried about? I should just keep this DVD forever. Like,
damn. No wonder if Choices did this, they would have still gone bust.
R.I.P. rental videos. So, how many times can you get away with it though? Is it 2?
I don't know.
Have you tried a third time?
I didn't try it a third time. DVDs.
Honestly, I had it and I was like, well, this is overdue, so I'm just gonna pretend I don't have it, and I'm just gonna,
it's like a library book.
Just run away from it, hide from my problems. And then I felt a bit guilty, so I was like, oh, I'll take it back. It was like, yeah, you owe us 100,000 yen. I was like, oh shit. But they were like, yeah, just don't worry about it. Just this time. I was like, this is bad business. This is not good at all.
Tell you what, that kind of happened to me with the lockdown feature, where I put Jack Frost in there. And I did a story sequence, and he died. He ran away. Like that was my boy. Prince.
I put someone in there and took him out after a little while. Didn't really understand what it did. He got a skill, and that was it. I've never used it again.
Yeah, I didn't use it a lot, to be honest.
But that system's cool as well. Like I always skip the guillotine bit though because I don't like seeing people.
Did anyone have? Oh dear, I've done it. Did anyone have a execution go wrong?
No, not yet.
Can they go wrong?
They can go wrong. Okay, I'll do a spoiler warning if you don't want to be spoiled on a weird like trigger system. But yeah, like because I always skip the guillotine system as well. But there was one time I couldn't skip it. I was like, why can't I skip it? And the guillotine gets stuck before it gets to their head. And like Caroline just whips out a chainsaw and just cuts his head off.
No.
And you get a different persona, a completely different persona. It must be like a random thing, but
Was it a good one?
No, it wasn't what I wanted because I did that fusion specifically because my confidant rank was up high, and then I got a persona where it wasn't up high at all. So I was like, oh, this is
That's
bullshit.
kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Did you both get the personas that the twins wanted you to get to boost their rank?
Yeah.
I got to rank 8 and then just forgot about it.
I think I'm at rank 7, but I want to keep doing it.
I would advise. I think it's helpful.
Yeah,
it helped me in the end.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, but it's just it is kind of overwhelming, the execution system. Like I would love it if I could understand it just straight away. Like with Pokemon, there's grass beats this, water beats fire.
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious and it works.
Yeah.
This, it's like, you execute this shit thing and then that thing, and then it makes. Obviously, there's a system to it, but it's not obvious because there's so many different types. Yeah, very complex, and then you can do a group execution.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! It gets too much. So I'm not really sure how to do that properly yet, but I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the combat.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty different to standard JRPGs.
Yeah, I think
the turn-based that you've used to.
Exactly, because turn-based has become kind of a very archaic kind of system in RPGs because everyone's shifted over to open world now. So the RPG games that do turn-based are usually they kind of harken back to nostalgia, like the Bravely series is just very kind of plain and dull, and obviously Pokemon just does it because that's always been Pokemon, and that's never going to change.
Yeah.
But with this game, it's just so dynamic, and there are so many options, like the baton pass, one more system and stuff like that. There's so much room to just do loads of cool combos and tricks, which is really cool.
It's not just take your turn, use a weapon or magic.
Spell buff, whatever. Yeah.
It always feels sick doing things sometimes, doesn't it? Even just using a regular attack.
Yeah.
Just doing little I don't know what you call them, 180s in the air or 360s or whatever.
360 no scopes, yeah.
360 no scopes.
Just feels sick.
When you take that chance and you do a normal attack, then someone just runs up and is like, I can get a hit in, or something like that, and just yes, fuck him up.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where 80% of me saying this is sick, it comes from the combat. It's so much fun, but also on the flip side, it's pretty dangerous. It does have a kind of difficulty thing, which I find annoying but refreshing as well. There's a chance that the enemy can use an insta kill skill on your main character, and it's well, he's fucking dead, so you got to start over from the start.
There's one palace where that happens so much, and it's so annoying.
Was that where you died 4 times?
Yeah, no, that was because there was just a lot of enemies to fight in a throw. Let's not go any further than that. But, I like the game. Really makes you think about conserving your SP and
especially early on.
How the types are gonna work, and
it's tactical, isn't it?
Yeah. Without being overly challenging.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's challenging, but not overly challenging.
But it's not level. Just level where it can be impossible sometimes.
I don't know. I've had it where it feels impossible a couple of times. I've just been. To be fair, I think the one time where I've flipped out and raged was because I chose the wrong persona who was weak to wind, and then I got knocked down, and then it was one more, and then someone else got fucked up. And I rage quit. I was like, fuck this, I'm not going back to the start of the palace. I'm not gonna play this no more. But it can happen, which is it's something that you got to keep in mind when you're actually when you're plotting what you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's so dynamic, and so many options, and
there's no greater satisfaction than pairing up your all-out attack so it hits as soon as it goes. You'll never see it coming. That's just so good.
Damn.
It's a lot of fun. And I mean the difference in between, like for the personas, and like I was saying with the execution stuff, that can get really complicated. But you can get some like mad personas
Oh yeah,
that you'd never want to let go of because they're so
exactly. Yeah,
good and they carry you through a whole palace.
yeah. I think it was the second palace where you can get Shikioji, which like I think it repels physical and gunfire. And you're like, why would I ever want to get rid of this?
Yeah,
Like,
I kept him to the end as well.
I don't think I got him.
He's like the shiny gold dude. I think you have to fight one as a mini boss in that palace. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think maybe I got him recently. I think, but yeah, no, I think the first couple of palaces I really didn't know what I was doing with the persona, like the execution stuff. So I was kind of struggling a little bit. But yeah, now I've got to grips with it. But yeah. One last thing I want to talk about before we give our overall thoughts: the music. It is fucking top notch.
Wow. Is there any higher praise?
Oh god, do you know what I mean though? Like I was listening to it. I put the whole thing on YouTube on at work.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care if you guys have played this or not. You're gonna like the music, and everyone was like, "Oh, Japanese high school kids, oh, you're kind of lame." And then it was, I'm a shapeshifter, and they're like, "Oh, this is nice," and I'm like, "Yeah, fucking too right." I feel like they put so much effort in with the music. They went 100% in, and it paid off.
Absolutely.
I feel it's
it
a real
lends
big
itself
part of
so well to like the aesthetic of the game, and like it's just different from your kind of typical RPG norm fare. Like it's usually just like orchestral stuff, and like that can be really cool at times. But like this is just like smooth acid jazz and stuff. Like it's
yeah. Everyone trying to be
guitars.
Nobuo Uematsu, and you don't really need that anymore.
No, exactly. He was doing that in 1990, whatever. So
yeah,
move on with the times.
Hey, one song that kind of sucks is the
Memento song.
Which one's that?
It's the one that just goes dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun,
Josh,
forever.
Josh, why are you performing the Fear Factory version?
Whoa,
crunchy.
No, that goes on. Like they could have at least mixed it up a bit, but yeah, that song sucks. But
it's bad for a place where you've got to grind a lot. Like that's like you're going to be in there a long time for them to have the worst piece of music ever.
I hate to do this again, but some of the best music is like right at the end.
Oh, Jesus!
There's like a crazy good I think it's like maybe the second to last boss.
Yeah.
Like main boss has like an amazing theme.
I always think I think it's Willpower, which is like the awakening theme, is like one of the best themes. Like that guitar comes in and it's like the roads and stuff. It's like
it's like, and it's that side is like intense, but it's also so relaxing when you're walking around Tokyo or in your room, or like
the fact that the music changes based on weather and stuff like that as well is amazing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, one music I really like is when the one music, the person's palace, you're breaking into it, and like they know now. And they're like that theme that starts playing when you're going through the palace towards the final boss.
Oh, Life Will Change. You can say the
yeah.
Moment, yeah.
That one's great.
Good, yeah.
But did anyone ever get kind of bored with the music? Because a lot of it does get repeated a lot.
How can you get bored of Last Surprise? You can't. It's impossible.
Okay, not all of them, but some of them. I think some of the like background music maybe in the just overworld.
I know. That's the stuff I love. Like I'll be singing it like every day. I've heard Em singing it as well. She's like in the background. She hasn't even played it. She's just watched me a couple of times, and she's there bouncing and singing along. You know what I mean?
I mean, like stuff like
but I don't get sick of it.
In the like cutscenes when something sinister happens. It's like that one. Yeah.
No, I don't really get bored of it. Yeah. Jesus, I thought this was gonna be shorter than the normal podcast. It's not fucking at all. But yeah. Let's wrap it up though. Overall thoughts of Persona, like where do you kind of place it in how much you love games.
I'll say it's much better than the Beatles. Jokes get funnier if you repeat them constantly.
I can say it's not my game of the year.
WTF, mate? What?
It's second place though.
What, near?
Yeah.
That kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Nah, because I want to say like the way I came away from both of them. Like I guess Persona, I came away kind of like that was great, but I'm done with it now. I'm ready to leave it for a while. Maybe play it again. Nier, I finished just like I'm gonna play it again and again and again. I don't know. I think I just had more problems with Persona than I think.
I think that says more about the kind of things that you enjoy. Like you got some mad attention problems when it comes to stories and shit. Like you can't say you don't. So I'm thinking maybe it dragged out a little bit too much for you.
Yeah, maybe. I just think I don't know the narrative of I just found the Neo narrative a lot more engaging, but they're not really comparable games anyway. They're like
I was gonna say
they're both completely different. It's a spectrum. I just like Neo more, but Persona's still an amazing game. Like 8 to 9 out of 10.
So like if Nier hadn't come out this year, you would have placed it above that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, not so bad, I guess.
This just sounds like they're trying to force Connor to be like, "Here's your game of the year. Do not deny."
Connor,
do not sully this experience for me.
Let's just,
Okay. I love that, and I love the new Kendrick album. It's my favorite album of the year.
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, it just kind of blanked.
I think you slammed the desk and it just.
Oh yeah, didn't I? I got mad. Like you trying to put words into my mouth, but nah. Persona's great. The combat's great. The side quest is great. I just wish the story was a little. I don't know. Just there was just some really long, draggy bits and just some really obvious plot twist that.
I think that's fair criticism.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of think I would have preferred it if it stayed more kind of focusing on person to person, like each person's palace, without having a kind of big overreaching narrative.
Yeah, but then it's just nothing ties them together. What would be the point?
No, I like yeah, Monster of the Week, mate.
What about you, Josh? Where you?
Well, I have very glowing praise for this game. Like, as like someone who plays a lot of RPGs and who's only just really warmed up to kind of open world RPGs, like Final Fantasy 15 and Xenoblade Chronicles X were kind of like very intrinsic in me kind of leaving my turn-based bubble because that is all I've ever known and like what I love. To see it just do such amazing things with that format makes me very happy for the future of like turn-based RPGs, and that they won't just be like kind of nostalgia trends. Like hopefully developers will look at this game and be like, wow, we can do really cool things of like just like UIs and the dynamics of a turn-based RPG. So it gives me a lot of great hope for the future.
I think that's where my like love of this game like settled ultimately, was the fact that I love turn-based games. Like obviously Final Fantasy's big part of my childhood, and still, and I love everything that came with that after that turn-based, but it did get to a point where it's just you're doing the same thing for nostalgia purposes. You didn't even do anything different in between.
Exactly.
Developers. And it's like this is fresh, but it's still turn-based, and it's still, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it is it's good to look forward from this. I think
I was gonna say, like, if I had seen it and the turn-based wasn't as like slick and fast, I wouldn't have brought it. I don't think, because that is my major problem with turn-based. It's just so slow and repetitive, and kind of sometimes boring to look at.
Yeah, it can be.
Persona kind of offered like a whole new, like, kind of just gave a whole new breath of life.
Yeah, definitely. What's bothering me? What's like? What is it? A bullet hell game?
It's
like, are you just firing mad bullets everywhere?
I'd say it's like an action RPG. I kind of think I mean, it's developed by Platinum, who did Bayonetta, and it's got kind of elements of that kind of the Bayonetta battle system, but I think Bayonetta is more like a Muso game, like Dynasty Warriors or something like that, where it's all very like combo heavy and driven. Yeah, whereas Nier does have like RPG elements where like you can like so obviously you level up your character, and like there's like the shooting element, like a rail shooter kind of element to it, like
Clearly,
equipping stuff and healing things. It's Connor is more equipped to say about it than me, but
like action game, like you pissed me off in the last podcast, so I think it's fair for me to do it this time.
Hey, you won, so I don't know why you're complaining. You won.
It's about democracy, mate. I don't even know what that means anymore.
You have to change Nathan's heart, mate.
Leave it alone. I'm sick. Don't worry. What would my palace be?
Pizza place.
I think it would just be like an impenetrable box. Would leave me alone scrawled on the end, like the outside of it.
Oh, I might have to set about making an IRL palace. That sounds lit. Oh yeah. My final thoughts. Fucking game of the year, mate, and I'm pissed off that Connor.
Hang on a second. You haven't even completed it. You might have the same. Like,
I don't care. Like, it's better than anything. What else have I played?
That's also
Final Fantasy 14.
Resident Evil 7, which was also great.
Overwatch, that came out last year.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood's coming out. There's no hope for Persona 5 now.
Nah, I can't put that as game of the year because it goes on for the whole thing, you know. But game of the year edition coming soon.
New game plus Final Fantasy 14.
What else have I played? I don't think you know what. Fuck it. This is coming up to an hour, and it shouldn't have been. And I'm sorry to everyone involved.
Right.
I needed this discussion about Persona because, like I said, I've just been sitting there going, "This is sick," and there's only so much of that you can do talking to yourself. Convince and you need to get it off your chest, kind of thing. Tell the world.
Me and Josh have had lots of Persona discussions when everyone's like left Overwatch.
Yeah. Just have like a talk for an hour.
So yeah.
That's that'll wrap that up. Persona 5.
Good game.
Yeah, great game. If you
not as good as
shut the fuck up. Connor banned Josh edit all of this podcast to bleep Connor out if he says.
I'm gonna change Nier to me just being like Persona 5 in a really like stoic voice.
Oh god. All right, Persona 5, check it out if you can afford it and shit. I don't know. Play it. It's a good game. We'll be back next month with another podcast. I don't know what. That's going to be E3 reactions and shit.
Yeah, we're going to do
YouTube
reaction.
Games.
We're going to capture our live reactions to every conference.
Please
on YouTube.
Please don't promise shit we're obviously not going to do.
Wait, what?
Don't promise shit we're obviously not going to do.
Apparently we're not going to be promising YouTube live reactions.
Look out for that. I think E3 is more fun when you talk about it after than before, which is what this podcast was going to be, and I'm glad it wasn't, so fuck that idea. Leave a like, subscribe, do anything that you want to do, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, friendos.